Welcome to Web Invoice 9.8. In this video, we're going to discuss how to create invoices. You can either create an invoice by using the top shortcut, New Invoice, or click on Start here. So we'll click on Start here, click on New Invoice. Now we have the option to either select a customer or create a new customer. So I'm going to try selecting a customer. I'm going to search for net T, which brings me net temple, and now I'll choose this customer. As you can see, it populates all the fields below, so we can now skip that section. And now let's go to scheduling. Invoices for this date. And this is an optional start invoice number, which means let's say you want to start at invoice number 1000, type in 1000. And this invoice will be 1000, the next will be 1001. So the next invoice, next time you create an invoice, you won't have to enter any number. This is only optional. It will start at invoice number 1. It can either be in-house or a service call, so I'm going to make it in-house. Or completed. It will have a PO number. Form type is invoice, or it could be a credit note. I'm choosing invoice. Tag assign, referred by. I'm going to leave those empty. As you can tell, at first hour rate is 25, additionally hours is 25 an hour. This is also pulled in after we pulled in the customer. After we selected this customer, all the information got populated, including hourly rate and currency and the tax rate. We're going to have a text status of text, delivery price of 0, and pay due date. This is obviously the date when the payment is due for this invoice. I can leave it empty, or I can choose a specific one. If it's left empty, it will rely on the payment due date in terms of how many days from the invoice when it's created is it due. That is configured within the options, as you can see on top, and in company info and basic settings. That will configure how many days an invoice is due, when it's late, and things like that. You can view that information on another video which goes over that setting. Complaint work needed. Let's say blank screen. I don't have any notes right now. Items received a computer, keyboard, mouse, and then let's see, power cord. Items being serviced, we'll just say computer. This information is really not so important unless you need specific details. So maybe it's a Dell, and this information I could put in at a later date at any time. Now I'm going to enter above data. This completes step number 1 of creating the invoice. Step number 2 is now putting items and labor into this invoice. So I can either add time track labor or add items and itemized labor. Items and itemized labor is a more popular feature, but if you want to add billable hourly labor, this is also a very good option for people charged by the hour. So you have two options of either charged by the hour or by the item. You can add items, and you can add labor along with your items. That's called itemized labor. We'll go over all these options. Let's try adding a time track labor. As you can see, first hour rate is $25, additional hourly rate is $25 an hour. This is being pulled from the customer. And I'm going to write down the kind of labor I'm doing is tested system, found video card defective, replaced video card. Let's say it took 1 hour and 15 minutes at this date. So just enter in the labor, and that's that. Now we have this labor on this date taking up this amount of time. And this is a total. This is the total amount due. Let's want to add another entry of labor, so just click on that. Let's say right now maybe scan system viruses. 20 minutes. Let's see, I'm doing this the day after. As you can see, now we have 2 entries. It could also be on the same date, it doesn't matter. Let's do it on the same date even. Now we have 2 entries, total of 21 hours. Obviously I made a mistake there. I'm gonna write down 2 hours. Actually 20 minutes. Now I have an hour and 35 minutes. And I can either close this by exiting, or go to add items, like over here. Or I can just click on add edit items from here. It'll take me straight to the item entry page. Item entry page allows you to pull in items from inventory using a barcode scanner, or I can type in myself and search for an item, and I'll pull it right into inventory using these 3 different fields. Or I can add an item or itemize labor manually, or I can pull an item from a template. So let's try doing that. As you can see, it pulled in very nicely, and we got $40 for this item. I can also edit it, same way I edited labor, or delete it. Or I can add one manually like I discussed. Now in this section, you can either add manually item and itemize labor section, or I can select multiple items from inventory. Instead of pulling items from inventory the other way by barcode or by exact item name, you can select from a list of inventory items. We don't have any inventory items here. We just go back to where it came from. Add item. So I'm gonna write down video card. 1 video card. You can have a markup. Let's say we want 10%. $25. The price is $27.50. Let's say after taxes I want it to come out nicely. So I use the VAT price helper. And I want it to come out to $29.99 after taxes. Well, it's going to make the price before tax $27.51, which is very close to $27.50. Works out nicely. Now $27.51 with 9% tax will make this $25 cost into a $29.99 after taxes. So that's really nice. And to this item, as you can see, it's now $29.99, and the total is $73.13, which is the price of labor and items mixed together. Now this is asking me if I want to insert the balance from a previous invoice, and I don't want to do that. I want to keep them separate. And this is invoice. Oh, you got your items on the bottom, hourly labor on top. Okay, breakdown of hours, labor charge, tax rates, and total. That's how you enter an invoice. I'm going to close this, go to invoice list. See the new invoice right over here. Internet's a bit slow. I'm just gonna wait till that finishes. Okay, so this is the new invoice entry that we created. Have all the logs, all the labor, and the item. You can always edit items and labor at any time and view the invoice again. You can also email the invoice or pay for the invoice. You can pay with PayPal or credit card, or we can enter the payment manually if someone gives you cash, or if you have an external credit card machine or someone gives you a check or a EFT or EFT at POS. Click in full, make the payment, and payment is done. View this invoice, and you can see the payment is made and the balance is 0, and we're all done. Now paid also goes into the log. The log keeps track of everything. And that's how you create an invoice and make a payment for an invoice. Thank you for watching.